What's happening, everyone? Welcome to the Sportscast. It's me, Andy. We've got Gary. We've got Muskie within the Feathers. And big thanks to them, first and foremost, for letting us record here. I know they are going to be open earlier, I think the next couple of days while Aintree's on. So again, big thanks to the lads.
We might actually get interrupted, it's probably fair to say.
So if people do come in and people start getting set up, just take it as, let's just roll with it, okay? Because we don't know what time they're going to be opening. But yeah, big thanks to them. I do just want to start this show off as well, bit of a somber note, but a really grateful and thankful note is for anyone who follows me on my personal Instagram, knows that in my family we had some shitty news. My sister's boyfriend Harry has been given a pretty stark, horrible diagnosis of up to 12 months to live. With a few complications the last few days, and it seems to be kind of no light at the end of the tunnel, but one massive light has been all the support we've had. We raised over 30 grand in just a few days, and I know a lot of people who donated are people who listen to the Sportscast, so just wanted to say a massive thank you for everyone who's donated, either sent a well wishes, sent some advice, or, you know, just done that thing that social media actually can be good for now and again. And I know a lot of that come from obviously the boys, everyone supporting here, but also all the listeners, so massive thank you. On that note, I was lucky enough to take Harry, thanks to the guys at Sadulo. Big shout out to Logan and Paul, obviously Paul Cheetham and Sadulo, who sorted me some hospitality tickets so I could take Harry and my sister Hannah, give them a little bit of a break. So unfortunately, I gave up my normal tickets and formed part of the prawn signing brigade. Before we go into that, Gary's looking at me. I fucked up yesterday. I told Gary I had him a ticket because I did. But because of the ticketing system that we have at Liverpool, and I'm assuming Everton is probably not much better.
Same though.
I stupidly put 2 tickets on my phone when I shouldn't have, which meant that I couldn't remove one and couldn't give it to Gary because the club are fucking idiots and they couldn't take it off and put it back on. It was my fault, but it's my fault in a bad system. So I was like, Gary, I've sorted you a ticket, you and your half or you, whatever. He's like, yes, nice one, lad. And then, sorry, Gary, you can't go.
I also arranged to fly home early from Spain.
Don't.
I was working in Spain. I got an earlier flight.
I didn't know that.
3-hour bus to the airport.
Oh, stop it.
Swear down, honestly.
Oh,
there was a normal flight that I could have got, which I could have got a lift because there was other people getting the flight at that time. I had to get to the bus stop at like 6:30 in the morning in Salou, this Minty bus stop. Get on this bus for 3 hours.
But I did.
And I was literally bored in the plane when I got the message to say I'm not getting.
Screenshot to go like, you know, yeah.
No, I'm not saying it wasn't legit. It didn't make me any less pissed off at the time.
Sorry.
No,
I'm so sorry. So sorry. I felt.
It's all right.
It's been a while since I've proper fucked up like that, though. You know. Fuck off. No, but you know where you feel shit. You know what I mean. Anyway, sorry, lad.
No worries. We're all human, aren't we?
Yeah.
You're just especially human.
My point, yeah, so we end up going the match. And what I will say before we get onto the footy, because I can't wait to talk about the actual football bit, it was pretty grim, you know, in that, by the way, I'm not trying to sound ungrateful for the guys at Sadulo who sold me tickets. What I mean, it's grim is just that hospitality in, like, I know we like joke and say the prawn signing brigade and all that, but, and I think Everton, this isn't like Everton giving Liverpool fans shit going out, all the foreigners coming and all your Norwegian flags and your half and half scarves and all that. This will happen to Everton in that new ground. There's no doubt about it.
You say that though, but we've sold all of our tickets to the normal fans. We've sold all our hospitality to Scousers. So it's not like do you know what I mean? It's not like I think the issue you've had is you constantly built on your hospitality, and then when they've been ready, it's like boom, all the foreigners have swooped in on it. We've sold our hospitality.
I'll take it back then.
I'll
take it back. If that's the case, then it should be great. But 660 quid they were charging, right? Not even a sit-down meal or nothing. You go in there, and it's almost this kind of like what do you call it?
Bar.
It's like a proper American
Stools
feel.
And that.
Yeah. You're going over.
Get your buffy.
Buffy things. You go over, take your what drinks you want and all that. Absolute rip-off, number one.
Like an airport lounge, I think I've heard that one's like.
Yeah. Absolute rip-off.
Sterile, like proper.
Just doesn't feel like you're clean. It doesn't feel like you're in.
Not being treated special on it. There we go.
No, here's our
Here come the
punters.
punters.
Well, this is going to be interesting for this is first ever for the Sportscast.
Yeah, they're just going to have to be setting up behind aren't they?
Hello, lads. It's all right.
This is like TalkSport. This
TalkSport
on the races.
We've warned everyone. People will be coming in, and that's how make yourself at home, lad. Yeah, I just thought it was proper grim. It didn't feel like, you know, you were going to watch a derby. Foreigners everywhere, as in, you know, tourists, people who don't even fucking know anything about the club, anything about the derby. Half and half scarves everywhere. I was just a bit like, I wasn't
impressed.
Wasn't
feeling like a derby.
Wasn't feeling like a derby at all. It was nice that I got to take my sister's fella and all that, but the actual just going into it, like, you know, and I even fucked up at half time. I normally do me 42 minutes, go down and get a pint, to get ahead of the queue.
Just thought to yourself, be all right.
And I went down at 42, and no one else around me though was moving. And I was thinking, why is fucking no one else going down to get the pint at half time?
They wouldn't give you it.
No, it's because they're already set up. They have thousands of pints set up already that you just go and pick up. So obviously no one needed to leave the seat early because it was already there.
For you.
So anyway, I sound like a proper snob, don't I? But I didn't like it. I'd much prefer to be in the cop and, you know, a bit rough and ready and having to queue for a pint. I don't mind that. But it was, anyway. The game itself, what do you think?
Listen, I thought it was weird. I was thinking about this on the way. I thought the game went almost exactly how both teams would have wanted it to go. I think Moyes got his tactics spot on. Obviously, the first half, from a possession point of view, belonged to use, which I think everyone fully expected to. But I know we had the best of chances. We should have been in front at the break. I said to a few of my Blues at half time, I think that was our chance there. You've got to take your chances against any team in that.
Did that feeling, didn't it? Where if you didn't take those chances, that was it. You weren't going to get back into it.
Yeah, and I think, you know, you deservedly got a goal in the second half. I think he's probably on the balance of, certainly on the balance of play, deserved to win the game. But I wasn't that disappointed. I thought, again, I think with the tools he has at his disposal, considering that most of the players who come off the bench weren't fit enough to play, and with the exception of Jack Harrison, who I thought was poor, really poor, I think everyone played all right. I thought your goal was a bit questionable in Diaz's position. I thought if a player's standing offside and a defender has to intercept a ball that's going to him, then that's offside. But I think Moyes may have had a moan about that, but I didn't quite see it. But I think on the balance of plays, you deserve to win the game. I don't think a draw would have been, you know, like a smash and grab if we'd have scored in the first half. Maybe Moyes could have rolled his ice a little bit earlier in terms of getting forward players on, because I thought we caused you some problems and got a few corners and maybe could have got something out of the game. But I wasn't like, there's been so many derbies at Anfield in the last few years where I thought we weren't even close to using, you've steamrolled us, and I'm thinking we're like a country mile away from these. It's mad, but I took a bit of encouragement from the fact that I don't think that team is, listen, you deserve to win champions without doubt. You know, your performances, the results and the form you've shown throughout the season is remarkable, and you know, you've got a chance of getting 97 points. That can't be sniffed at all. But I don't look at that team and think that's the team that's going to go and win 4, 5, 6 titles on the bounce.
I know what you mean. Even as I don't want to get any hate for saying this, but even as a Red, I kind of feel like that, you know, like that this is. I mean, it's hard to kind of say that actually, because he's not signed any players, has he? But
yeah, not obviously that it's a bit unfair. That's what I'm saying. But
yeah, but I know what you mean. Though you don't kind of think this is a team that's going to dominate for the next 5 years.
Do you know what it was? It was the few times, and I know this is your style.
I'm just getting jealous of Willow sorting a pint there.
Sorting a pint. It's I
might have to.
Might have a Guinness in a minute.
Yeah.
I think it was one of them. You know, whenever we got a corner at Anfield, I think in the last 10 years, you're thinking, I don't even want us to have a corner here, because if they break, they're going to score. And that goes back to Brendan Rodgers, by the way. This is not just Klopp. When he's had Sturridge and Sterling and you know, Suarez and all that, it was like, these are going to score here from our corner. There was one or two occasions last night where you broke, and it was just like, where's the pace gone apart from Diaz? Salah doesn't. I know you've said that he doesn't look the same to me, and I can half understand why FSG haven't maybe bowed to whatever the 600, 700 grand, 800, whatever he wants a week, because I'm not saying he's finished, but he doesn't look like a player who to me is.
Come on to the contract a bit in a minute, but I've got my thoughts on that about like how he's kind of petering out the end of the season and stuff. But I do think the contract's got a little bit to do with that.
Maybe,
the fact that there's not as much to play for now, really, and all that.
Going back to the game, and I've probably just kind of killed your chances, Ian. So that I thought you deserved to win the game.
And it was really fair analysis you've given. I agree. I thought was impressed with Everton. I think Moyes has done great, hasn't he, since he's come in?
Yeah, and I look at it now, and Irabunan come off the bench. I think he's a really good player, him. And I think you look at it now and think, if we lost Guy, because Guy's out of contract in the summer, he's a good player. He comes in, Garner's improved, he's getting better. O'Brien, at right back, looks a solid player defensively, and he causes a different type of threat going the other way. And Ndiaye is obviously coming back to fitness. Jack Harrison is nowhere near it, but he's on loan, so he goes back. Decore looks a bit tired now, and I think it's a good decision to not give him a contract. Alcaraz looks a good player. I think he's got the basis of a good side there. Obviously, the Branthwaite situation's a concerning one, because hopefully you'll agree. I think he's a very good player, Branthwaite. Look, the Tarkowski tackle, because I know we're going to come on to it, it's a red card, that.
Yeah.
It's a red, jokes aside, and I was saying it's a proper derby tackle, and you like to see it, but you watch it and you think he's lucky there.
The thing is, when we can talk about it, but I don't think there's nothing really to debate, because I don't think anyone has come out and said it's not a red.
No.
I haven't heard them anyway. Even Tarkowski himself said he's already apologised to McAllister and all that.
I think he knew what he was doing, didn't he? But I don't think I think what it was, McAllister leaves his leg where he is. I think he expects McAllister to go for the ball. And if McAllister goes for the ball, then it's a proper 50-50, and it's like, he's right, I've got the advantage there. But because McAllister leaves his leg there...
Yeah, because he's not actually stuck his leg in to get the ball. It's almost trying to block it, and he's just gone right through him. It looked...
And I know Carragher said he's got form for this because he's done it against Everton at Goodison at Burnley, and he does like a tackle. He's not like a maliciously dirty player, though. Do you know what I mean? He's got his big advantage. He's a big fella, isn't he? So he's got to use that physicality and that aggression to his advantage, because he's not technically as good as most of the players around him. But that said, I don't think he went in to hurt him. I think he went in to leave one in on him. But he expected McAllister to be going for the ball, and he didn't.
It probably would have been a decent challenge in a 50-50 if McAllister would have jumped into it as well. But the fact that he didn't, it just looked like it was It looked like he just tried to proper take him out, didn't it? Like, it was. You'd even see with his foot, you go and get the ball, and your foot almost kind of goes down and then almost stays at that level. His kind of starts off getting the ball great, and then just carried on rising up and up and up.
And it's hard for the pundits, isn't it? Because the likes of Gary Neville, certainly Jamie Carragher, have probably done them tackles in every derby match they've ever played in. I know Carragher did. I know, not just derby matches, Neville's done a few of them against Hughes, and I'm sure if Gerrard was talking, he'd have been like, that was just a normal tackle lad in the derby. But,
Do you know what? He was quite lucky though. McAllister was almost, looked at his leg in slow-mo, it was almost going away. So where he's come through, it's made his knee buckle. Whereas if he was a little bit more straight on,
if he had his foot planted, it would have been a really bad one.
Yeah, so there's not really. Yeah, I agree, definite red. And I agree with how well you played. I thought I was a bit nervous. That offside goal was tight, wasn't it?
Was really. From where we were like clearly off, defo off. So we knew when it went in, we were like, I don't know. Like,
really? I thought it was closer than...
No, I know what you mean.
Line, so it looked from where we were...
When I seen it...
miles wider.
When I seen it live on the telly, at first look, it looked offside. But then when he looked off, ooh...
Yeah, a bit closer.
It was the fact that it took longer, and we were going...
Yeah, that's what
Maybe that's...
But again,
than we were expecting it to be.
No, again, like coming on to not focusing all of it on Hughes, but, Hughes won the game, and Hughes are going to be the champions, and we're kind of sitting in a position now where it's like, okay... Our season's over, so to speak. I just think across the pitch views, there's so many like that back four now just looks a mess. And I know you got injuries. Bradley's not there, but Robertson looks like detached from the back four. Kanate and Van Dijk just look. I don't know if it's
they
tired.
did look a bit mad yesterday. How Beto was having there was one move where Beto he has Kanate off to start with, and then sends him. So Kanate's on the floor, and he's then spun away and got off. And then Van Dijk done some mad little kick that wasn't really...
Yeah, and he pushed and he got the ball off him as well. And then that was where he hit the post.
That was the post, yeah.
So he literally put both of our defenders on their arse.
That's what Carragher said at half time. He's making Kanate and Van Dijk are making Beto look like prime Drogba.
Yeah, but that's what Drogba would do, wasn't it? Yeah. So I remember thinking, fucking, what's going on here? But
there was a couple of times where it looked like Kanate was more concerned about Beto than the ball.
Trying to get into a contest with him, yeah.
And because Beto's just like fucking long, he just kind of like do
he's
one
elusive.
step and
he's a big lad as well, though, Beto. I mean, I know he's not Drogba, but he is still a handful, isn't he?
He's elusive, isn't it? It's like a weird, like, we had a player in the, I don't know if Moyes actually signs him on loan, Joe, his name was Brazilian.
Oh, yeah, I
remember him,
why? He was like that, and you're like, he's not a good player, but he's somehow effective.
I remember Carragher once said that. He said sometimes the hardest games are not when he was coming up against the likes of Drogba or Van Nistelrooy. Sometimes it was like the kind of names like God rest his soul, but like Kevin Campbell, who's not like a massive
One
name,
chop and all that.
but
yeah.
people like, and you just go, oh, they shite them, but they're still fucking 6'4",
Yeah,
fucking big strong lads, and so I don't bet.
Maybe there's a bit of that, but and maybe again it was just like the fact they are tired. It's been a long season, all that stuff, and it was like you're just trying to get over the line. But
yeah, I think it was a very makeshift. But I agree, they didn't play great last night to defence. But I agree with you on Robbo. I think they need to get a left back in, don't they?
He's probably going to sign right back though, because
Are we though?
I mean, look,
At least for cover.
Bradley's a good player. Listen, very, very able. But how many injuries he had this season in his first season? Like that can't be something that the manager.
Well,
and
last
the
night we had three right backs who
at.
were all injured. That was unlucky. That do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Gomez,
but right. So Gomez, is Gomez good enough at right back? Would you want Gomez starting?
I think Conor Bradley's good enough to be our starting.
Yeah, but you can't. His fitness record's already. He's questionable, isn't it? And he's getting
I
muscular injuries
I can't
as
think
well.
of what his injuries are.
The muscular injuries, yeah.
Maybe that needs looking at. But okay, in an ideal world, if he wasn't injury prone, I think he's good enough to be our starting right back with Gomez as his understudy.
And obviously listen. You can't just from one or two games say that Kanate and Van Dijk are finished. But let's say for instance Van Dijk signs another contract. I think he needs another centre back. Quanta's not good enough.
I like Kanate.
Yeah, but if one of them gets injured, who comes in? Gomez or Quanta? I don't think either of them are good enough. Personally, if you're going to be...
For title challenges.
Yeah, not just challenge. If you're going to win...
Yeah.
Because listen, you win the league, your objective is to win the league again next season. It's not to be, let's challenge for the league just because other teams
We
are
have
better.
been quite lucky with Kanate and Van Dijk injury this season. None of them have been injured, have they?
Yeah, Kanate.
Van Dijk...
Kanate
has been in and out, hasn't he? Quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah. Yeah. That's what I mean. I think, though... Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I feel weird because I come out of the game and I've come out of loads of derbies thinking we're massively second best. We need 6 or 7 new players, blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking and thinking, you know what? We're not Bazzers. We're not winning titles anytime soon, but those types of performances with, again, a couple of players that we'll hopefully pick up in the summer, those types of performances against the likes of yourselves, and that will get us further up the league, a lot further up the league.
I do think it's going to be a mad summer of signings for both Liverpool and Everton, because I think it feels like a really important summer for both clubs. The fact that Everton are going into the new stadium, they're going to need to sign,
there's a lot of players out of contract, yeah.
And I think the same goes for Liverpool. I think even most Liverpool fans will go, look, yeah, we're going to win the league, great. But like you've just said then, it doesn't feel like a team that can go and win the league again next season without making any more additions. There's going to have to be some serious investment, especially if these players don't get signed up.
The forward line and the defensive line, I think your midfield's okay. I think if everyone's fit, you can't say that midfield's poor. I think they look tired, as a few people have said.
But that's the thing, though. At what point? Right, yeah, we didn't win the League Cup. We out the Champions League. The league's pretty much wrapped up. I'm not trying to question the professionalism, but even as a fan, yesterday that was one of the worst derbies going into, because there was just no jeopardy for either club, was there? Even going into it,
there was a bit of nervousness for you, wasn't there?
There was nervousness. I was
really
get beat
nervous. Again, or another more dropped points.
It wasn't the fact that it was Everton. It was the fact that we our last 4 games have been really poor. We went behind to Southampton, not great. We get battered. Let's face it, on definitely one leg. You could argue a tough game in the second leg against PSG, and then get out Everton against Newcastle. So there's 4 games where we haven't been great. Then there's a 2-week break. Players are flying off all over the world. You come back. So I was nervous.
It would have been really interesting, I think, if we'd have scored in that first half, because it was like.
But the fact is, what I mean is, though, there wasn't that. I personally didn't feel that kind of, apart from the Paddy Power advert, which I thought was quite funny. About you seeing that?
About the Everton fans?
Yeah, brilliant. But I didn't have that kind of, even banter with the likes of yourself and my other Everton mates, where it's like, oh, fucking, it just didn't feel like a derby, I don't think.
I know what you mean, yeah. And you said it a few times, not as interesting when you've not got something to play for. And I said to you, it was like, how's this going to feel when you just win the league? Is it going to be the same? Obviously it will be, you'll make the most of it, but going to the last game and winning it like that just feels a bit more special, doesn't it?
When pushed. Oh God, not half, yeah. I mean, and that's what I think the scary thing about yesterday was. You think if we don't win the Derby, then it's only 9 points. Then suddenly it's Fulham away, you're thinking, oh, fucking hell, then maybe you get a draw, and then it goes down to 7. And then you've got to play Arsenal as well, and then So I didn't want that to happen. I wanted us to obviously win, because I thought, I don't want this next 8 or 9 games to be almost just finally get over the line.
Over the line.
Yeah, I want it to be like...
Emphatically win it.
Yeah, we're winning every week, you're getting...
No, and that's it. Going back to it, I don't want it to sound like I've just completely snuffed out any banter or whatever. You do deserve to win the league by a canter, because you have been.
Yeah.
You've done that 8 mile thing again, haven't you?
I have, yeah. That's it. Just kill them with kindness.
Yeah, so on that then, again, I'm not questioning the professionalism, but I just wonder, is there a bit of them that's thinking, it's fucking done now, do you know what I mean? Because last few games...
It'd be naive of them to...
Yeah, it would, but it also, they're only human, aren't they?
Yeah.
How many times you're there, particularly ex-pros, saying...
Well, even when you play against teams that are a lower league or whatever, the players just, even though they want to, they just can't get up for it, can they?
There's that extra element as well, though, of the contract situation, which probably come on to that now. So it's a few factors have come to the end of the season. It's been a long, hard season. They've knocked out the cup competitions. They expected to maybe go a bit further in. They've pissed the league. That can kind of almost not get forgotten about, but it's done. Now it's the only other thing to kind of focus on is where should I be playing for me football next year. And I think that's where it's starting to just feel, maybe as fans or as for pundits, you're looking at them going, oh, is there something going wrong there? Because that's where all the spotlights are now, isn't it? This contract situation, I think. This Trent situation, we start with him first. I just think it's bizarre. I do, and you know what I fucking hate? I hate ex-footballers giving their opinions on it, right? When they've never had to pay to go to a fucking match in their life. Do you know what I mean? It's like, all right, yeah, you've played the game, you know the game inside out better than me, but you're not a fan who pays fucking 60 quid a week just alone on a ticket, never mind everything else that goes with it. So you're not paying hundreds of pounds a week.
Don't patronise us about like
exactly,
how we should feel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're telling us how I should feel. You've got fucking Matt Dawson, is it? What's his name? The Tottenham defender. Is it Dawson? What's his first name?
Michael Dawson.
Michael Dawson, yeah. Telling me how I should fucking feel about Trent. They're like saying, lads, what the fuck do you know about paying fucking money each week, going to watch your team, your local team, watching local lads play for the team? You're telling me I shouldn't be pissed off, or I should be happy for him. The other thing that pissed me off with the Trent thing, this idea when people are saying, oh, he's give us his best 10 years, as if he's done it out of the goodness of his heart. He was getting paid fucking 100 grand a week to do it, by the way. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's, oh, we should pat him on his back. And hang on, we were paying him a fucking lot of money to do what he was doing. Do you know what I mean? So it's like this thing that we were some charity case and we should just be thankful for his time.
He made his dreams come true in the first instance.
Exactly. So that fucking notion can get to fuck as well. I think people just Trent needs to come out and say something, I think, because he's been a bit of a shithouse, I think, not really doing anything and hoping it'll go away.
You don't know, do you? Listen, he's still under contract by the club. You can't just go around saying what he wants. You don't know what the club are saying to him. The club might be saying, look, we're keeping Stump, you keep Stump. There's no comment to be made. So
I think he still might sign, believe it or not. I honestly think he still might sign. Maybe that is deluded, but I just think, why has he not come out and said something? Why has no one said anything? It doesn't make any sense.
I think if he was going to sign, if I'm honest, Andy, he would have come out and said something.
No, I just think he's still bargaining for more money. I just think it's a massive power play on all three.
So would you be happy with that then?
No.
So if he did come out next week, Trent signs a new contract, we're breaking the bank, it's 800 grand a week or whatever it is. How would you feel about that?
I'd say he doesn't fucking deserve that much, no.
Yeah, I'm not saying, I'm like completely pie in the sky figure.
I think I'm on my own. I think most Liverpool fans will disagree with me when I say this. I'm not putting all the blame on the club why this situation's happened, because if you look at the timeline of events, it's impossible for any of them to have signed, right? So when most this idea as well that they've had a contract, you can't make someone, you can't put a gun to someone's head and say sign this contract.
No, you can't, but you can actively say, okay, well, if you haven't signed the contract by this date, then we're making you available for transfer.
And then what if he says, no, I do want to sign it, I just not yet. I'll sign it. We'll sit down again in 6 months. That's what he's done. He's went, no,
they've all done that.
They've all went, no, I do want to sign, but I'll sign in. I just want to focus on my football Well, that's what if they turn around.
Yeah, but
and
how long do you keep that going
Exactly.
for? Like, no, I'm talking the club. How long do you just keep going? All
but
right,
Gary,
sound, no
that
worries, no
happened, though.
worries.
But that happened, and then when they did try and sit down again, Klopp said he was leaving. So then he's got an extra bargaining chip where he can go, hang on a minute, we were going to open negotiations now, but new spanner in the works, Klopp's going. I need to just think of this, who the new manager's going to be. So the club can't go.
The club can, mate. I know you're saying the club can't do this. The club are the ones who should be in control of that situation.
Right then, so how do you think
I know the players have got more power these days.
So how do you think the fans would be, right,
go.
if when Klopp was leaving, right, when Klopp announced
But that's
that
the point, though, that the fans have not been able to get behind the club or the player because there's not been enough clarity around the situation, has there? The club have not been clear enough as to, they've suggested, there's a and then the players have hinted that there either isn't a contract. How many times has there been comments particularly from Salah to say, there's no contract, or I haven't spoke to anyone or whatever, and then it's coming,
the club can't come out and say no, Gary, because it would
turn. Of course the club can.
All right, okay.
Why can't they?
I'll tell you now. Salah's come out and he's dropped his little hints, hasn't he, and all that. Okay, if the club come out and go, right, sorry everyone, we can't offer Mo a contract because Mo wants 800 grand a week. All the fans would turn on Mo, yeah, you greedy bastard, blah, 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 all that.
So
they're not going to do that, are they?
But why not? So doesn't that force the hand of someone? Isn't that the...
And what affects the league that they're going for? Mo's in the form of his life, and you want to piss him off by...
But it's too late now. That this has got to... Like, I'm talking about last season, I'm not talking about now. Like, that's gone. That chance to do that is gone. Because you're right, it's got so far to the point now that they need Salah to help us get over the line. Whereas 6 months ago, a year ago, that card could have been played to say, look, Mo Salah's got 18 months left on his contract. He's a massive asset to the club. We've offered him this amount of money. If he doesn't sign this contract by the end of this season, regardless of Klopp, whoever it is, then we're going to have to put him on the market to sell him.
And that's fine, right? So
free.
Real Madrid then go... They're obviously all speaking behind everyone's back, and they go, ignore Liverpool, just fucking sit out. They can't do nothing. We'll get you on a free.
Well, therefore, then he deserves to be thrown under the bus, doesn't he?
Well, but as I saying for Trent, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. That's why no one can. This thing of we should clap.
The club haven't done that with anyone, though.
But Trent and his agents and his brother, they've all known what was going to happen. He purposely never signed a longer contract because he was almost instigating this situation would happen a few years back. It's got to a point where he's thought...
But he's done that, and you're right, he's done that to shift the power in his favour, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But the fact the club have allowed that to drift further, the power, Trent's power increases the closer it gets to the end of the deadline.
I agree, but there's been some certain, circumstances...
I know there's been factors and circumstances, but you put it back to, like, personal life, and if this was a normal situation, if your contract in work was running down, and you've got the boss of the company there, and you're there... That just wouldn't happen, was it? Because your boss at some point is going to go, listen, Andy, you're going to have to leave now, or because we need to find someone else to replace you.
What if you're in sales and you're just fucking top sales guy, you're bringing in the company, millions of pounds each month? It's hard, isn't it? Yeah,
but you've got to plan for something else, haven't you?
I think going forward, planning wise, if they haven't got replacements lined up, that you can level it at the club. But I'm not in the camp of slagging the club off, because again, those players now have got a lot of power. They know that they're going to get huge signing on bonuses if they run the contracts down. I just think it's very selfish of the players. Well, listen...
It is, but I think the point that a lot of the media are making, forget about the fan bit, because I agree with you on that. The point that a lot of the pundits and ex-players are making is that how does this happen with 3 players? I can understand one, because there's loads of things going on. You've got a new manager, this, that and the other. But your 3, maybe aside from Alisson, 3 biggest assets of the club have been allowed to not sign a contract.
Okay.
That's catastrophic, isn't it?
But how do you know then as well? I sound like I'm proper fucking defending FSG, but how do you know? Because they're all in a similar situation. The 3 of our best players, they're all in the leadership group. How do you know behind the scenes they're not all going, hey...
Do you reckon they got a little WhatsApp group, them 3?
if us 3 work for a company...
No,
and the boss was saying...
we're talking about a multi-billion-pound corporation here.
But we would be talking behind, as mates, wouldn't we, going, hey, how much have they offered you? They're offering me 400.
But
hey,
again...
I'm getting 450,
But the club needs to push the mantle the other way. I'm not saying they wouldn't have been doing that. I'm not saying that their agents between each other are going, look, we can probably strategically play this. If all 3 of us, push this...
It's a bit of a union, isn't it?
Yeah, it could be a union, you're right. But still, the only way for the club to put that pressure back on them. Look, listen, I think all three of them, I'd maybe say Van Dijk aside, because he seems a little less emotive about the whole thing, but certainly Salah and Trent, they love the adoration of the fans. They thrive off it. It's like a big thing for them. If the club 6 months ago or longer would have exposed them and went, look, this is what's happened, this is what's been offered, they put the club in an impossible position. They're either going to leave for free, which is a massive loss to the club and the fans, or we're going to have to offer them extortionate contracts. That's the situation we're in. That would have changed.
Maybe,
that would have shifted
the PR.
The
definitely
power.
would have been, yeah. But I think, keep it on Trent, because he's the one that's getting all the headlines at the minute. I just think he's very naive to think that he's going to have a legacy at Liverpool. Honestly, I just think if he thinks that he's going to be spoke about in the same breath as Steven Gerrard and Jamie Carragher,
I think he knows he won't,
No.
and he's okay with it.
I think he's
and
okay
that's
with
fine.
it.
And if he is all right with it, then you know what? There is a bit of me that thinks, you know what? He's a lad from West Derby who's played for the club I adore. He's made himself a multi-millionaire. He's won countless titles, and he wants to go and try a new life in Spain.
Do you know?
There's that bit of me that thinks, you know what? Sound, but don't then try and give it this. My dream is to captain Liverpool and to win trophies for Liverpool. Don't start coming out with any of that shit, because you're a fucking liar. Because you've got the chance to captain Liverpool in the next couple of years, and you are winning titles. If you ever want to be compared to the likes of Steven Gerrard and kind of his loyalty and his adulation that he's got for the adulation he's got from the fans, he stayed when he was shite. And he had his head turned, and in the end he thought, you know what, no, I need to stick with my heart and all that. Trent is no, like, that's why he will be dead to some fans as soon as he goes. And ex-pros and pundits can't say, oh, you can't say that. You fucking can't say that. He just becomes like another player who played for us, in my eyes anyway.
I think with Trent last summer as well, he said something about like wanting to win multiple titles and all that. That could have been in the back of his mind going, because I don't think Slot's going to be that person. So then that's my reason to like shift to somewhere else. And now we've potentially, we're very close to winning that title. It's like, well, that excuse has gone now. So what can I say now?
Make no mistake, right? Us winning the league is bad for Trent moving on. In an ideal world for Trent,
You'd have been sixth now.
yeah. And then no one could say anything.
You can't be
Oh,
good to someone
you're
and
right.
move on.
That's a really good point. I think that's probably. I'm not saying the points you've made are not valid. I think that's the best point out of all of them. I think he's thought this season, this is going to be perfect for me.
Yeah.
It's going to play out.
Use the transition.
Suddenly, I'm a player that Liverpool can't afford to keep, and they can't fulfil my ambition.
Yeah, we miss out on the Champions League. Maybe he's like, what can I do? I'm sorry. The fact Slot's come in, we played, decent football, top of the league, got to a cup final, I got beat, but, all right in the Champions League as well, got beat by, again, a great team, but there's been signs all throughout the season that this is a good team, good manager, he knows what he's doing. Trent's been like, fuck.
And you look at the other two players that people have compared this move to, McManaman and Beckham. McManaman was in a team that was pretty mediocre. Obviously, there was some, the likes of Fowler and all that, but
The team
pretty,
itself.
Yeah, the team itself wasn't a team that was going to be able to match McManaman's ambitions. Well, he still got, obviously, a lot of abuse because he left on a free and all that. Beckham, Alex Ferguson in the end was happy to sell him because Alex Ferguson's mentality was there's no player bigger than the club. So it was almost, the fans had to go, actually, Fergie's made that decision, therefore we can't completely victimise Beckham. He's actually been left with no card to play, as he Trent, apart from the fact that I want to leave. That's
Exactly.
it. He's going to have to at some point say, this is about me.
Exactly.
This is about me wanting.
That's what's pissed, I think, a lot of people off. It's the fact that he said, all I want to do is play for my boyhood club, captain him and win trophies.
And the narrative have changed now.
And the narrative has now changed. And I think, I'm not saying he'd rather not win a Premier League title. Of course he wants to have 2 titles to his name. But I guarantee in his head at the start of the season, as he's playing this contract situation out, he's thinking, we finished 5th. It's not as good as it was under Klopp. My contract's run out. I'm one of the best players in the world. They can't afford me. No one can blame me.
You think back also as well, and I'm not saying it's been this, this is how much he's been this calculated about it. He
has, by the way.
All right, well, okay, that's a matter of debate, isn't it? But the little mini bust up that he has at the start of the season, it was like, was that another one where it was like, look, don't get on with the manager?
Yeah.
And actually he's actually all right, him. He's doing well. I don't really know what else I can say.
It's like your sister brings home a fella does, and you're like, oh fuck, I fucking hate him, and he's actually fucking dead sound.
Yeah,
like that. That's what it's probably been a bit like for him.
If I keep this up, I'm going to look like the knob now. So I'll just.
And I just think, I know you're saying it's very calculated, and people would go, oh fuck off, you don't think about it that much. These aren't like little decisions. He's going to probably get a 10, 15, 20 million quid signing on bonus. It's like
set his family up for decades.
These are like big decisions, I think, that have been in the works a long time. That's why I've got a bit of sympathy for the club.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's a kind of person as well. Like he's like come out as well and said like, my aim is to like invest into like, you know, things like F1 or new like other footy teams and all this. Kind of stuff.
He sees himself as being a proper entrepreneur.
Like a global brand,
so that part of his brain is going to be the one that's going to win. It's not going to be the lad from West Derby who's going, I get to play for Liverpool. But I want to now be this big fucking.
And also, he'll think, as you've said, he'll think that he's done everything anyway. You know, in his mind, that mind or that mindset will be, I've won the league, won the Champions League, won the domestic trophies. I've captained the club on a few occasions. I've scored big goals. I've smashed it.
And by the way, like I'll come back on the support of him in a sense. I fucking get it. By the way, I totally get it. As a young footballer, I fucking totally understand.
I don't think you can have your cake and eat it.
Exactly. That's my point. Probably nothing else on Sam. We've probably just done him there, haven't we?
Just absolutely done him. You've done him dirty.
I'm just not into. I just fucking hate.
Barragan will be all over you now.
I know.
Get this house as a reel and tag Barragan into it.
Fucking hell.
He's been quiet on social media lately.
It'd be interesting, yeah. What he does. If anyone does know what's on, we've had him on the podcast. Ian Barragan, he's the scout that picked up Trent, and he likes to remind us
every time he touches the ball.
That he was the one who found him. So Ian, that's for you. We'll just touch upon the league quickly before going on to the race, and that's the main thing this week, really, isn't it? But it's 8 games to go, 12 points ahead. Our next 3 games are Fulham, West Ham and Leicester.
Can you do that little thing that Carragher done, or they Sky done with Carragher? They read the fixtures out.
Yeah,
they said win, lose or draw. Okay, Fulham
3 points. Yeah, win.
Yeah. West Ham at home.
Win.
Leicester away.
Win.
Tottenham at home.
Win.
Chelsea away.
Draw.
Arsenal at home.
Win.
Brighton away.
Win.
Wow. Palace at home.
Win. Yeah, I think we'll win most games.
Does that put you on 90? Is that 95 points?
Yeah.
The only ones I disagree with, I think Brighton away will be tough. Not saying you don't think they're going to be tough. I think Chelsea will beat us.
Do you reckon?
I think at that point, mathematically,
they'll have more to play for them.
Mathematically, the league will be won. I think Chelsea will beat us.
Remember that time last time we won the league and we played Man City the game after, and we were all like still pissed. We got beat like 6-0 or something.
Yeah, we got an absolute batter.
No one was arsed really, but like it was. Okay, should we move on to the bit of a short? How long have we been going for, Musk?
35 minutes.
Is there anything else? Oh, sorry, the Jose Mourinho thing before we get off footy. Did you see that?
I didn't see it. No, I knew they were playing Galatasaray yesterday.
It was in the cup. I think they got beat 2-1 or 3-1, and he's done it before, hasn't he? He's kind of went up and he almost like fish hooked someone, and he pulled the fella's nose. The fella who goes down, the opposition manager goes down like he's just had a baseball bat to the head, which is
Compo.
It's more embarrassing him going down than Jose Mourinho pulling the fella's nose, which is a bit weird. But he's not having a great time.
He just wants out of that league, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You know,
doing anything now.
All
just
this,
to get kicked out.
all this behaviour. Yeah, exactly.
One of the lads I was with last night, big Rangers fan, Logan. He'd love to have him at Rangers, and I think that'd be a great move.
That would be a match made in heaven. Imagine him in the old firm.
Him against Brendan Rodgers. And I'm not a massive fan of Brendan Rodgers. I think
that's ego v ego.
Oh yeah, God. It is. Yeah. Oh my. Yeah.
If you want someone to kill Brendan Rodgers, it'd be like his old teacher coming back just to school him again in the Scottish League. But I'm here for it. I think that'd be a great move for that.
Yeah.
For that league.
That you talk about, there's a decline of Jose though. That would literally be the bottom of the battle, wouldn't it? You can't see him going. No disrespect to Rangers, they're a massive club, but from a league perspective, it must be out of the leagues that are commonly spoken about. It's got to be in the bottom 2 or 3, hasn't it, in terms of the quality or the standards of the league and how well or not so well they perform in Europe.
Yeah, no, I agree. Right, we'll touch on a bit of Aintree because I know, like I say, people will be coming in now to get the first beers down them and stuff. So Aintree today. So when you're listening today, obviously I just want to mention a Thursday because maybe when I talk about Thursday, you'll know whether to listen to me then for the Friday and Saturday, depending on how well I've done.
Yeah.
So on the Thursday today, so yesterday when you're listening to it, the big ones for me, which we're going to disagree on, is Constitution Hill. Willow, you can have yours saying this as well, lad. Are you a Constitution Hill or a Lossy Mouth fan? Constitution Hill. There you go.
Oof.
Willow's
There we go.
man
Sorry,
like
Willow,
me.
you'll be losing your money as well.
So that's the big ones. I mean, I'm a big favourite backer anyway, so I think the next few days I'm going to be doing a little treble with Constitution Hill, John Bon, and Stumptown in the National. Pays about 22 to 1.
That said, I'm just looking at the latest prices now. If it stays as it is, I won't even be going near the race, because I think Lossy Mouth at 7 to 4 or 9 to 4-ish, I'd have been all over it. 5 to 4 and evens is probably where I think it should be, by the way, and that shows how much the punters are really laying into Lossy Mouth, because it's gone from, I think it was 2 to 1 yesterday, or touching 2 to 1. It's now 5 to 4.
Days, yeah. I think my biggest bet today will be a straight forecast, Constitutional to beat Lossy Mouth. That's going to be my biggest bet of the day.
To right your wrongs of the other week.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go the other way.
And I'm purely, as people will know, I got killed pretty big on Constitution Hill and John Bon at Cheltenham, and I'm.
You know what? I don't even think I don't even think I could justify the forecast. I'm not saying Constitution Hill is going to come last. And I think there's not much in the race.
I will tell you all right now that forecast will come in.
Okay. All right. Well, as you say, if
Mandy that comes in,
then you probably
you'll
should be
know
following
that I'm
them
on
for
form and
Friday.
you should be following me. Yeah. So we'll just touch upon the Friday then.
Just quick as well. I think the bet, and again, we're going to put this on our Instagram, so you'll have seen it. I think Impera Pass in the first race gets you off to a flyer. I think that's the best of the day, to be honest. It'd be about 2 to 1, but that hopefully is going to get me off to a flyer, and then I'll probably just put half of the winnings on.
Why are you betting against me? I fucking hate that.
I'm not betting against you. I'm betting against Constitution Hill. I'm just not. I think it's the most overhyped horse in the history of British.
Oh, come on, calm down.
Honestly, it is. Overhyped horse. I'm not saying it's the worst horse. It's a very good horse, but it's not as good as everyone's making out.
Again, when you're listening to this, if Constitution Hill absolutely pisses it up,
what was it at Cheltenham? What was it? There was a John Bon, wasn't it? Who was it? I said Cheltenham's not going to win.
You said it was shite and it pissed it.
Yeah, it did. I didn't say it was shite. I just said that I'm not having it. Anyway, yeah, I was wrong at Cheltenham. I'll probably.
So you know who to listen to now anyway for tomorrow. So.
I mean, I would definitely listen to Andy over me normally, but we'll see.
I think tomorrow again, wide open day of racing tomorrow, and again, I am a favourite backer, so I am sorry, but the double I'll be doing on Friday is Romeo Coolio and John Bon, 11 to 8 and 4 to 6. But again, tomorrow I'll put a proper detailed one up of all my picks, like I did do on the Thursday. I think John Bon as well, too good of a horse to fuck up again. He messed up at Cheltenham, and it was unfortunate. But I just think really good horses. It's like any sport.
Can't keep a good dog down.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't keep fucking up type thing, and I think he'll bounce back.
I think. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't argue with John Bon, to be fair.
Yeah. And then if we just look at the National as well, again, as you know, anything can win the National. But the last few years, more favourites I've been winning. Obviously, the fence is a lot different now than they used to be. Various factors, so you don't see as many big priced winners. And again, I sound really boring, but I'm going to go Stumptown. At the moment, it is the 9 to 1 favourite. But if you saw me at Cheltenham, I won quite big on it at Cheltenham as well. It won.
I mean, you're always going to, weren't you?
I was going to do it because of the name, but I obviously don't just pick them because of the name.
Yeah, you do sometimes.
But with a name like Stumptown, given my injuries, I think that was the one for me. Pissed it up in Cheltenham, and I think it'll do the same tomorrow. We'll definitely get a place anyway.
I'm back in Vanillier in the National. A grey, which it's rare that a grey wins. I think the last time a grey won was like 2007 or something like that, and then before that was even longer. But they're just a lot more rare, aren't they? But Vanillier for me is again, it's up there in the market. I think it'll be close to favourite going off, and I think when punters start to get into all the form and everything, it ticks all the right boxes.
Yeah. No, it should be a cracking few days. Who's your pick, Musk? Have you had a look at it?
I haven't even looked yet, no.
You got a pick yet, Willow? What's your tip of the week?
Stumptown for me, lads.
Stumptown, there you go. See, me and Willow, we know what we're talking about. Yeah, I think, but again, if you are going to be having a bet at the next few days, I would just do a forecast as well. It's a bit of interest, and it pays a lot more if you can get it right. It's if you're going to do a reverse forecast, it's 2 bets. So if you're going to do a £2.50 one, it becomes a £5, and you just got to pick the first and second in any order. More of a bit of an interest as well. And the weather looks like it's going to be glorious. So if anyone sees me out and about, let's come and have a beer. Gary, you'll be at the... Oh, no, you're not going to the races, are you? No.
Wow. Oh,
Fucking hell, just
deep that.
telling you, that's it. I probably won't be on the podcast last week because I don't speak to Andy anymore, but sorry about
any other
that.
news you want to finish on?
No, all
I don't
good.
think so, no.
No. Well, no, massive thanks again to the Feathers. Massive thanks to everyone who supported. The Just Giving page I mentioned at the start. Thanks to the lads. Have a boss few days, and we see you next week.